Well, hello, hello. Good evening, friends. I am so excited to come to you live tonight. Some of you know, you've probably been following. We just finished the Unbreakable Women's Conference, and I had my special guest, Dr. Val Franc, with us at the conference.
Hello.
All the way from Toronto, Canada. And this event was so wonderful. But let me tell you, one of the things that I am so excited about this year is taking Unbreakable Life to a new level. And if you've been following our Unbreakable Life journey, you've heard about our pillar partners, and that goes right into our Seven Pillars talk show. But today, I want to introduce you to a pillar partner who is going to walk side by side with everyone in our Unbreakable Life journey who chooses to walk out and become unbreakable in their health. So, I want to introduce you to my amazing friend and my personal doctor who transformed my health, Dr. Val. So, Dr. Val, tell us a little bit about you.
Well, thank you so much, Theresa, for the wonderful introduction and, of course, for the opportunity. The Unbreakable conference was absolutely phenomenal. I just loved meeting so many incredible women. Hearing their stories was so powerful and impactful. And the community that you have here was so loving and welcoming and warm. So it's a really exciting time. Really
Yeah.
exciting time.
So exciting. A couple of years ago when I was walking out my personal journey of becoming unbreakable, I didn't know it was called unbreakable yet because I was still going through my breaking process, right? That's when I met Dr. Val. And this was in 2022. And we sat down on a Zoom meeting in this really interesting conversation called her fireside chat, where I knew nothing about healthcare outside of what I had been taught through grade school, through high school, and really health class, where my health teacher was 75 pounds overweight and smoking on lunch breaks. So, like, my access to health and understanding of being a steward of my health was so limited. And I met Dr. Val at a retreat, and then we had a conversation together. And that conversation literally changed my life. And so, as I think about the Unbreakable Life journey, and health being pillar number 5, I really wanted to bring to my friends and our Unbreakable community you.
Oh, I'm honored and blessed. Thank you.
Yes, you're so welcome. Well, our journey started with a little conversation, and that conversation led to a complete health transformation and a complete new understanding of what individualized healthcare meant, that it wasn't one size fits all.
That's right.
It wasn't the conditioning that I had received around the health foods that have been, commercially sold to me for years and years, right?
Absolutely.
So many wonderful things that I learned in working with you. And, you talked about your passion for helping people reclaim their health and really experiencing and understanding
Mhm.
all of the components about who they are uniquely. Can you share a little bit about that journey and kind of what that road looks like when you work with your clients?
Absolutely. So I think, for me, my own journey started with my own health issues. And I thought I knew everything. So you can imagine, I have this undergraduate degree in nutrition, and I'm a nutritionist, and I think I know everything because you think you do at that point in time of your life. And as it turns out, I get sick and I didn't have the answers, and my medical doctor didn't have the answers. So where was I going to go? And so my aunt said, "Hey, I know this great naturopath." And I'm like, "Well, I have nothing left to lose." I went to see the naturopath. The naturopath said, "It's your diet."
Mm.
What? Like, I couldn't believe it. I'm like, I'm a nutritionist. I know everything. What do you mean it's my diet? And yet it was the foods that I was eating. And so just seeing the power of how changing my foods, how understanding what was in my way and removing that, and how changing my foods and feeding and fueling my body from my biochemical
Mm.
individuality, that shifted my life. It was a game changer.
Yeah.
And so then I was hooked. I'm like, "You guys have secret knowledge. I want to know."
Yes.
And I came to realize over the years, 90% of the health information that's out there is wrong. And so we get exposed to all of these thoughts. We hear, "Oh, you should be a vegetarian, you should be a vegan, and this is so healthy, and here are the studies." And
Right.
some people, yes, and they'll do fantastic on a vegetarian or vegan diet, and they will tell you, "I feel fantastic. It's what I do. This is great. You should all do it." And if works for them, and that's great. And
Mhm.
there will be people who do keto or carnivore, which is the complete opposite, and they'll feel great on it. And they'll say, this is what you should do. And so you're like, what should I do? Who should I trust? And there's the Mediterranean diet and paleo, and then the latest fad. And now there's this coffee thing that all of the stars are doing.
Wow.
And, you're kind of like, what should I do? And it's so confusing.
Yeah.
And the real thing that we want to do is we want to get real with people. And we want to say, look, there's no one right way of eating for everybody out there.
Mhm.
There is no one right way of eating for even each person for their entire life. Your body is changing, your biochemistry is changing. And so when you start to understand people's genetic makeup, their hormonal makeup, their immune system, how that responds to their nutritional needs, and we dial it in to their specific needs and individual needs, it's a game changer.
Well, it certainly was for me and for so many people that I've met, because when I met you on this journey, I was in this wonderful community. It was called the Blissful Tribe, and there were several of us ladies from all over the world. It was so, so fun. And several of us were impacted by the wisdom and the knowledge that you brought as we chose to hire you as our physician and to really be our guide as we walked through our own discovery. And one of the things when I met you at that clinic, at that retreat that we were at, was I was at a place in my life where I was literally searching to discover what was right for me. I realized at that point that there was no one size fits all, that I had been taking some one size prepackaged, one size fits all recipes for health for so long, but I wasn't feeling better. And I was on this perpetual like roller coaster ride and always feeling bad and feeling defeated. Like I could never win. Like it just wasn't right for me. And it was so defeating.
Absolutely. And let's begin to really examine and unpack health. And
Right.
what does it mean to be healthy? What does that really mean?
Right.
And what is success in health? Because a lot of people say, oh, well, I'm just going to, do this prepackaged thing and I'll lose 50 pounds.
Which you
Great.
may.
Which, yeah, yeah. But is that successful if you've done it in a way that's harmed your body and that is not sustainable? So you're going to gain it all back. To me, that's not success.
Mhm.
So there is a statistic.
Okay.
95% of people who lose weight by calorie counting, doing the calorie in, calorie out, exercise more, eat less, do those different ways of dieting.
Yeah.
95% of those people will gain that weight back within 5 years.
Well, if I would have had that knowledge back then, I may not have beat myself up so many times because I'm like, I'm in the top 95.
I'm at yeah, exactly. That's not where you want to be.
No.
And can we redefine success? Because so
Right.
many people are like, listen, I'll just get the first 10 pounds off and then I'll do it healthy. No, 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 no.
Well, I think what happened with me was that I got addicted to the steps of success. And when I came to the realization after working with you that success wasn't a number on the scale, success to me in health is the ability to be fully present, mind, body, spirit in all of the things that I'm charged to do. And so for the ability to feel good in that process, the ability to feel good when I'm on the, stands cheering my daughter on with her cheer competitions, or the ability to stand up after practicing for, hours and then stand on a stage for 5 hours, the ability to do that with endurance, or the ability to work through tax season, right?
Well, and how about the ability, like rather than, because a lot of people are like, oh, I need the next goal. And maybe I'll run a half marathon. Maybe, I'll do a fitness competition. And
Oh, a
those are
fitness
great.
competition.
Those are fantastic goals. But who sets the goal, which we all should be, at 95, I want to be able to walk for an hour.
Oh,
At
right.
95, I want to be able to open up pickle jars.
Well, and I
Yeah.
think one of the things about that is that I couldn't create that goal because I couldn't see that far
Yeah.
because of the limitations that I had around health and the conditioning that I had around health, believing that at a certain age, you just don't do certain things. At a certain age, you just feel a certain way. At a certain age, your body starts, breaking down and your cells break down, and you just have to accept all the wrinkles and all the things that go with it. And I learned that that was such a lie.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you don't have to settle. And, we're aging way too fast. And, I've seen patients who have come in, they're in their 30s and they're being told, oh, you have knee pain. Well, you're just aging. No, no,
Can you believe I can't
no,
imagine. Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
So the question then becomes, we're not going to settle.
Nope.
Why should you?
That's right. Why should you? And can you afford to? One of my favorite new terms that we've talked about is as we're setting goals for 2025 and we're starting to think about the things that, this year with the Unbreakable journey is the day she discovers her purpose. And really it's he, she, it doesn't matter. The day we discover our purpose. And when we discover our purpose, how acceptable or not is
Mm,
it to allow our health to get in the way of completing our purpose?
absolutely. And what if you could have vibrant health? What if you actually thought that you had to look old and be tired and have aches and pains?
Mm,
But the truth and reality was that really you should be as energetic,
mm.
as fit, as healthy, as lean as you were in your 20s and 30s when you're in your 50s, 60s, and 70s.
Wow.
And what if you could create that?
Mm. Well, we can create it.
We can.
We can create it. And that's what I'm so excited about. I started working with Dr. Val about 2 years ago. Actually, we're coming up on a 2-year anniversary. And one of the things that we gauge when we start working together is, of course, obviously some numbers. We gauge all kinds of things, but we also gauge our metabolic age. And
Yeah,
I'm so excited. I've reversed my age by 7 years in the time that I've worked with you. Isn't that incredible? So
it
what
is.
if? Yes.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's absolutely possible.
Mhm.
And I think that a really great thing is to say, for some people, they're going to be like, well, maybe I look healthy and feel healthy. I have energy. I don't really feel like I really need that. But what if there's something greater out there?
Mhm.
What if you could live longer? Because there's a lot of people as well that they don't feel what's going on because their mind carries them around
Sure.
and it's just carrying them from the next task to the next task to the next task. And they're thinking, I feel good.
Right.
But internally, there are things going on that
Mm.
are really harming their internal health.
Yeah, you talked in great detail about some of the people that you work with at our conference. And you talked about the fact that some people, maybe weight isn't an issue. And maybe, feeling the energy levels isn't an issue, but they're burning themselves out and they don't realize not the chemical, excuse me, but the hormonal imbalances that are
Mhm.
happening in their system that are starting to shut them down. Could you share a
Yeah,
little bit about that?
absolutely. So, there are people who have a body that I say my body is like a Ferrari because it is so finely tuned. If I don't get the right sleep, if I don't get the right nutrition, if I don't, take exact care of myself,
Mm.
my body shuts me down.
Right.
I get sick. I get the feedback pretty much right away.
Yeah.
And so I find that I'm really lucky that way because a Ferrari, you can't take it to a regular gas station and put regular gas in it.
Right.
It's so finely tuned, it needs a lot of maintenance,
Right.
which I happen to do, and I'm okay with
And
that.
we're okay being high maintenance.
Exactly, because I'm a Ferrari. And so, or you can use Porsche, that's fine too. But there are some people who I say their body is more like a Volvo or a Ford F-150.
Sure.
And we spoke to some a few nights ago, and they can put sugar in the gas tank. Those are those people that that they could eat and eat and eat and just grab fast food, and they just seem to keep going.
Isn't it interesting how those people are usually in your house?
Yes. And you
Yeah.
usually wanna put a pillow over their head when they're sleeping.
We're not condoning that.
I know. But
No.
but there are people whose body is like that, and they think that because they can do those things and they're not feeling tired or run down, that internally they're fine.
Right.
And I've worked with so many high performers where we've actually looked under the hood and we've looked at the biochemistry and found, hey, wait a minute, you might not be feeling the effects, but you're like 1 or 2 steps away from a heart attack. Like if
Wow.
this continues,
Right.
this is the damage you're doing internally, but you don't feel it.
Right.
So
Yeah. And for those people, a lot of times you're like, but they were so healthy.
they were. These are the people that they're like dropping dead at, 50, 52.
Yeah.
And you were like, well, what do you mean? You were running a marathon. You were exercising. You seem to have energy. You looked healthy.
Yeah.
But are you really?
Are you really? Well, and that's such an important question because, one of the slogans that you carry that I've heard you say 100 times is your health is your wealth. And, our body is our vehicle, as you talked about, to take us from, where we're at today to where we're supposed to go, and to give us the ability to complete the tasks that are in our hands, whether it's, being a mom in this moment, or, a career executive, or it doesn't really matter. Our bodies are the vehicle to help us do that. And we have to take care of that vehicle. I hear all the time, we get our oil changed, we get our oil flushed in our cars, once every 3 months, or the car breaks down. But most people don't think about their health until their body starts breaking down. And then it's kind of late. Right?
Absolutely. When's the last time you had a lube, oil, and filter? And by that, I mean detox. Like, let's be clear.
Let's be clear.
Do a good detox, do some cleansing, take care of yourself, hit the reset button, go on vacation, relax. But a lot of people don't do that.
We don't. And, we were talking to somebody earlier today about her role as a, employee, and then as a mom, and how she just doesn't have time for herself. And I think this year we need to prioritize ourselves a little bit, and how much better and more equipped we are at that point when we are taking care of ourselves to serve everyone that we're called to. So I think that that's so important. Well, with Unbreakable Life, we've decided to take it up a notch and bring Dr. Val in as one of our pillar partners to give us access to really just crack the code a little bit about some of the things around health that maybe we haven't understood. And I'm going to tell you, I was mind blown in the time that I got to work with Dr. Val. And I think you're going to be mind blown when you hear about this program that we're putting together, that we want to bring to all of you in our Unbreakable community. Because this is going to revolutionize the way you think about your health, the way you see your health, and the way potentially that we even value our own personal health.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I'm really excited. Are you ready?
I'm ready. Okay. So we can dig in a little bit to the 111 days to Unbreakable Health. Yes, this is going to be so much fun. When Dr. Val and I started talking about this, we started going through what are some of the things that we need to have. Well, number one is we need to have access to information.
Absolutely, we do.
Yeah. Scientific information, factual information, things that maybe we're going to bust some myths, learn about some things that we just never had access to before. Number two, we need to have implementation, right? Because knowledge without implementation is pretty much just wasted space. We just file it away, and one day it'll come up and we'll be like, oh, I remember that. But today's the day to make the change. Today's the day to step into your unbreakable life, right? So what we've put together in collaboration is 111 days to unbreakable health. And in that, our participants are going to have an amazing platform of community, because I talked a little bit about sometimes those people that eat those opposite things are in your house and the temptation is real, right?
Yes.
But as we start picking up new habits and as we start learning and implementing things, the importance of a community is huge. And that connection and the people to help you hold yourself accountable and hold each other accountable is huge in that. So number one is you're going to have access to a beautiful community of people on the unbreakable health journey right there with you. So talk about the power of community that you've seen.
Well, I think community is really, it's everything. So you can't do it alone. Because what's going to happen when you're on your journey is you're going to start doing things and then you're going to wobble. And so when you have a community around you, community is going to help pick you up. It's going to help motivate you. It's going to help inspire you. You can have people to share things with. As you're making your discoveries, you can say, oh, look what I discovered and I can do this. And again, as well, when you have your wobble points, there's going to be someone else there to help pick you up and say, hey, I was there too. And here's what I did. And you've got this. So the power of community is really absolutely critical. No one can do it alone.
Yeah. And it's much more fun too.
Absolutely.
Yes. You'll make lifelong friends with people in this group over this period of time. So I think that's super fun. So number 1 is the community. Number 2 is the scientific data, the secrets, all the things that Dr. Val brings to the table. And you guys, of course, I got to spend a lot of time with Dr. Val when I was working one-on-one as her patient. But over the last couple of days, I've gotten to see behind the scenes some of this amazing information that is in this mind right here. And oh, wow. So talk about some of the secrets that we're going to be digging into.
There's actually quite a lot. So when I started my journey, I've been in practice this year, it'll be 25 years. So I was actually learning about this and then in the naturopathic college for 4 years before that. So I've got 30 years of trying to figure this out. And I happen to be a foodie, so I don't give up food. I don't give up taste. So I'm learning like what are the tricks? What are the hacks? But I also am learning what are the myths and misinformation that's out there, because that is massive. Again, 90% of the health information that's out there that you're going to listen to and hear from so-called experts is dead wrong. So we're going to bust some myths and we're going to say, okay, you know how you've been programmed to believe this is correct? Wrong.
Like the food pyramid.
Yeah. Or peanut butter. Oh, that peanut butter is healthy. That it's a source of protein. No. So we're going to learn things like that. We're going to learn things like label reading. We're going to learn like, where are you actually being poisoned? Or biochemically manipulated, because food companies know fat, salt, and sugar is the magic addiction formulation. So they sneak it in everything. So you eat more of their product.
Right. You crave it.
Absolutely.
Our kids crave it.
You're biologically hardwired to do that. That's not something that you need to feel ashamed of.
Right.
That's not something that you can willpower your way out of. Right. That's something that you're biologically hardwired that way. And so until you can see it, identify it, and step away from it, and then detox and get it out of your system, you're just stuck in the same cycles. So we're going to talk about those things, and we're going to break down things like, well, what does work and what doesn't work, and how do we know? Like, should I be vegan? Should I be vegetarian? What about the Mediterranean diet? What about keto? What about carnivore? Like, we're going to talk about all of those different things and say, how do you know what is this really? What is it not? So again, even something like keto, I've had patients who have looked at keto products and said, oh, this product says it's keto. And I've looked at the ingredients. I'm like, there's sugar in it. How are they saying it's keto?
Or it's just full of chemicals.
Yeah, absolutely. So, there's a difference between marketing and what's healthy. But the way that things are marketed, it makes something sound like this is really good. This is really healthy. Right. But is it really? And is it healthy for you and for your body? And we're going to start unpacking some of those things. And then what do you do if you like to cook? Okay. And what do you do if you don't like to cook? Like, what if you're like too busy? I hate cooking. I don't want to think about it. Got your solutions.
I love that. And I know we're going to talk a little bit about hormones.
We are.
Yeah. And that's a big thing. We talked, one of the things that I think that you shared is that we can't out mindset a hormone, right? When our hormones are messing with us, when our blood sugar is tanked and, willpower is out the window and, all of those things. And I know how you feel about willpower, but, we're going to talk about a lot of that and how to control the uncontrollables or seemingly uncontrollables to take back your power as it relates to your health.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Very exciting.
So much on the science, but then there's the mindset piece, right? And that's the piece that many times becomes the kicker. yeah, well, I can't do it, or I've never been successful before, or some of the other limitations in our beliefs. And we're going to dig into the mindset piece on all of these areas that Dr. Val is going to be training on. So, that I think is going to really just complement the new information, because you can get new information, but if for whatever reason we've been programmed for so long, or our belief patterns has limited the way we see it or see ourselves in the success side of it, we're going to hold ourselves back. So, mindset is going to be a big piece of how we dig into this to reinforce those behaviors and to reinforce our feelings around what we're learning and how we can really have the health that we desire and that, quite frankly, we deserve.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And so if you can have all the information in the world,
Right.
but if you're stopping yourself from applying it,
Mhm.
or there's something in your own way, like a fear of doing it,
Mm.
or if you are emotionally eating
Mhm.
or emotionally not eating,
Right.
then it doesn't really do anything, because the application of knowledge is where the power is.
Right. 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 And again, the beautiful piece of combination of the community, who are all going to walk through a lot of the same emotions with you around this, and the application itself, and the knowledge. I can't think of a better recipe or a better formula for an understanding of becoming unbreakable in your health. So I'm so excited about this. And to accompany you with that, when you sign up for our Unbreakable Health program, there is a Unbreakable Health workbook, because you're going to get 2 hours, which that's so exciting. 2 hours a week with us. Like, we are so excited to get to invest that time and spend that time to share information, to reinforce habits, and to really build that community. But outside those 2 hours, I don't know how many other hours there are in a week. I could do the math with a calculator. Your workbook is going to also help you as you go back and you kind of digest that information on your own. The workbook will be your guide to really help you unpack your thinking, get some thoughts out there, and share your thoughts in our Unbreakable Health community, and just so many things associated with that. So, that workbook is really going to help you spend some time reflecting, meditating, and just, getting some great introspect on what you're learning.
Yeah, I think, we learn things all the time. And, when we're learning to ride a bike, we don't just jump on the bike and learn it and then that's it. We have to practice. We have to develop the neurology to do it, and the skill set, and then the confidence. And so having the workbook, having the community, that's kind of going to be your practical applications as well, to
Mm.
really help just hone in those new skills and those new learnings.
Absolutely. So, we haven't even talked about the price of this. And I know you guys are probably like, oh my gosh, you guys, Dr. Val and I have put this program together for $199. 14 weeks of coaching as a group, 14 weeks, 2 hours, 14 weeks with Dr. Val and myself for $199. And this will transform the way that we see and think and feel about our individual health. And I am just so excited to get to bring that at such an amazing rate that allows you to just step your toe in the water. I think so many times we don't invest in ourselves because we don't think we're worth it. Let me tell you, you are worth it. Your health is worth it. You are worth it. The future of your life, the future for your family is worth it. And we wanted to bring something of tremendous value, something that we both know is going to change your life to a place that you can bite size your way in and have tremendous results.
Absolutely. I am so excited.
Yeah. Yes. So we wanted to share that with you, but there is something else. And, while Dr. Val and I are working with you on the Unbreakable Health, we also wanted, sometimes we need these baby steps and sometimes we need an immersion, right? We need to like jump in, and we need to get fully immersed in the atmosphere and the environment. And so that takes us to another opportunity that we're so excited about. And that is our Unbreakable Health Wellness Retreat that is coming up in March. And oh my goodness, the retreats, I think about sometimes an opportunity for life changing events,
Yeah.
right? And when we have moments where we can literally unplug, we can get relaxed, we can unwind, we can get back in line with our bodies, and we have no distractions, then we can kind of set a clear slate, a clean slate, and
Yeah.
then, really get the ball rolling. So, Dr. Val, talk a little bit about what you're excited about for the retreat.
Well, so many things. Now, first of all, I have seen this beautiful location. It is an incredible ranch in Texas
Mm-hmm.
with horses. And if you like Shrek, which I do, there's a donkey
We have
there.
a donkey.
And it's a beautiful, beautiful Texas ranch with a lovely, lovely little pond and stream.
Mm.
And we get to immerse ourselves in several days of just detoxing and coming down.
Mm.
Because this ranch is so wonderfully secluded,
Yeah.
it's this oasis of calm.
Mm-hmm.
So you're going to have the opportunity to come in and then just decompress and leave things. And then we have several other therapists and practitioners from the area who have offered to come in and help with some relaxation. So there's going to be some spa time, some letting go to completely allow yourself to unwind, let any of the stress just get out of your nervous system.
Mm-hmm.
And as you begin to relax and restore, then we can begin to take that deeper healing dive to do a little bit of the work towards releasing some of the things that have been holding you back, that are preventing you from regenerating and restoring.
Yeah.
So that when you walk back into your life, when you walk into that new area of your future, you're really stepping in with power and purpose, completely clear.
I love that. I love the way that you really just took us to a place of rest and relaxation. And, sometimes we're in our hustle muscle, is what I've picked up over the years, right? We are so much about let's get it done, let's get it done, let's get it done, let's push through. I talked to somebody earlier today about, well, I just file it away, I just plug it down in there, just move on. And, when we do that, we're really hurting ourselves. And I think that I know that this retreat will be such a beautiful opportunity to just get back in tune with who we are and then just feel all the things again. As I've worked with you, Dr. Val, one of the things I've appreciated is I can now feel when my body is off.
Yeah.
And it's because we reset, right? It's because we took the time to reset, recharge, rejuvenate, all of those things. But it started at a retreat. That was so beautiful. You know?
And, what I absolutely find is so critical, we are just coming off of the incredible, incredible conference, which is really about the day you step into your purpose.
Right.
But you need that creativity to know what your purpose is.
Mm.
You need to be out of survival mode.
Right.
And when you are using that muscle where you're just go, 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 do, you don't have the time, you don't have the availability to access the creativity.
Or the capacity.
No,
Yeah.
you just don't. That's not available.
Mm.
But when you can immerse yourself in an environment where you take out the noise and you can start delving deeper within, that creativity can come back. Yeah. That spark can come back. So if you're someone who has been struggling with, you guys have been talking about purpose, I'm doing the things, I can't figure out my purpose, what is my purpose? It could be that
it's clouded.
Absolutely. That you cannot know and hear your purpose if you're stuck in survival brain. And so this could be the perfect opportunity to put a pin in everything. Come to the retreat, rest, relax, reconnect to your soul. Right. and allow that love, that passion, that creativity to spring up,
Mm,
and then let that purpose just flow out from there.
yeah. I love,
Yeah.
I remember when I was working with you, we had this conversation and you were trying to help me visualize my ultimate, purpose is really what we could call it in this case. But you were trying to help me visualize myself in a successful place.
Mhm.
And it was early in us working together. And I really, with all of the cloudiness, with all of the sludge, all of the things that were clouding my mind, I could see a glimpse of it. I could see that there was something, but I couldn't see all of it.
Mhm.
And as I started getting healthier and things started falling off of me that were, toxins really and truly. But as things started falling off of me, that image began to get clearer and clearer and clearer. And I know that Unbreakable wouldn't have existed had I not taken the time to really get clear with who Theresa is, take the time to invest in this. And without that, I can't even imagine. I can't imagine where I'd be. I would probably still be cycling the same thing, frustrated about the same things, not having the success, right? And probably still arguing with God, And now it's
And
felt
maybe a
like,
few other people in your household.
yeah, that did happen. That's fact. But it it was so important and such a pivotal piece to the transformation in me. And I'm so grateful for that. And I'm grateful that you and I get to work together to bring that to people through the Unbreakable Health journey. And I think it's going to be amazing. We've been sharing this retreat with people since the conference because we launched it there.
Yeah.
And of course, it's well received because it's needed. Now's the time. Like I feel like we are coming out of a season and ready to step into a new one, but sometimes there has to be a shift and we have to create that shift. So now's the time to do it. And now's also the time to commit yourself to it because everybody's feeling that now's the time and this event is filling up.
It's filling up fast.
Yeah.
Yeah. And so, the wonderful thing about this beautiful space is that, everybody who comes is going to feel so welcome and so at home.
Mm.
But the unfortunate thing is that there's only so many spaces because there's only so many beds.
Right. Yeah. Yeah.
So, as much as we want to just offer it to the world and say, everybody come on in, let's do it,
Right.
there are limited spaces.
Right.
There are limitations in terms of what we can do. But again, the space is beautiful.
It is beautiful. And of course, to keep this space intimate as well. Some of the things that we're going to be doing, we want to have that comfort of a more intimate setting, and we will have that. We're
Mhm.
capping this event out at like 13 guests, which is
Yeah.
a beautiful number. It's well rounded. We'll be able to really build some community with that number, but also have the time to rotate through some of these amazing services that Dr. Val talked about. And she didn't really name them, but I will name a few of them.
Okay.
So yoga and meditation, acupuncture. We have a couple that are still on the fence. We're trying to figure out some logistics, some anti-aging techniques, and neurofeedback therapy from a good friend of ours, Mary Parker, who is also one of the pillars in the Unbreakable Life journey. But that time of the spa, the treatments is really going to put us at a place of, I believe, a reset.
Absolutely.
Mm.
Absolutely.
So
So the question becomes, what if people wanted to jump on that right now?
Well, they need to do it.
That's the best answer, of course.
They need to do it. And there is the link below on this recording. You can go in and you can sign up for both. You can sign up for the 111 days to Unbreakable Health, which that we are starting on January 21st. And those sessions are going to, you guys, it's going to be so much information, so beautifully put together, packaged in a way that you can receive it, implement, and then be ready for the next step. Receive, implement, and then be ready for the next step with that community supporting you. The retreat is scheduled. You want to block out your calendar now. You want to get your name on here, get your room reserved, and do that fast because it is selling out. But that is March 20th, 21st, and 22nd. So it's a Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And that event is just going to be beautiful. And you don't have to do one to do the other. A lot of our friends are running to jump in and get started on the 111 days now. And this retreat will just reinforce that. If you're not quite ready for the 111 days, come to the retreat. And then the 111 days will be a great thing to add at that point, should you choose to. But I will tell you that if you are in a place where you're thinking, I am ready to make a change in my health. I'm ready to be the best version of me physically and really emotionally and mentally that comes right along with that in 2025. These are two very important opportunities and very accessible opportunities to do that.
And, if you just wanted to learn what's real about nutrition, because let's again, there's so much information out there and there's so much misinformation.
Right.
So,
Yeah.
if you just want to know what's the truth, the
What's the
truth
truth?
is out there.
Yeah. And I think, there when we even get on Facebook, there's a lot of people that you can listen to, and a lot of them guide you down a path to purchasing a product or purchasing, something, and wonderful, fine, but they don't become your guide. And that is something that Dr. Val and I would like to be able to help you with, is to give you all of the data, all of the information and the resources, and to become your guide in that process. Because, and we know, like if you're watching the news at all, if you're seeing the shift in the environment here in the US specifically, you could see that there is a transformation, there is a shift in thinking around health, and how important it is to dig in and to get the truth. Just because people are talking about it doesn't mean they're sharing truth. And I think that this is a great opportunity for you to hit the ground running and really have a solid, valid source to get that information from.
Absolutely.
Yeah. So we want to say thank you. Thank you for sharing a few moments of your precious time with us tonight. Thank you for being in the Unbreakable Life journey with us. I'm excited about big things happening that are going to bring tremendous value to you and really helping you take back your power and step into purpose. And that's really what we're all about in Unbreakable. And as you can see, our shirts, we have the Unbreakable Life that Dr. Val's wearing that says, shine your light and live your purpose. And that's really what we are all about with Unbreakable, is helping you shine your beautiful light in the world. And when you do, you'll be walking in purpose. So thank you for joining us. Thank you, Dr. Val, for being our guest and my friend, and for the journey that you're going to go on with us.
Thank you so much. I'm really excited for this opportunity and to see who comes and how their life transforms.
Yeah, that's the fun part. Yes. I love it. Well, thank you guys. Have a wonderful day. And we will see you the 111 days and at the retreat coming up in March.